Elmer Sherwin, the man who won 2 mega jackpots in Las Vegas 16 years apart. Let's see how it all happened. Early life. Elmer Sherwin was born in 1913 into an average home. Very little record exists of his early life because he lived in a time when the internet wasn't there. However, he was known to have served in World War II. After the action of war, he then returned home to his wife and settled into a modest life, working normal jobs while saving up for retirement. His wife worked a full-time job to support the family, and together they decided to do something crazy as a way of early retirement. They decided to pack up everything and move to Las Vegas. Elmer had spent most of his life working hard or fighting in the war, so he never had the opportunity to enjoy life and treat his wife to the finer things. He then made up his mind to spend the remainder of his days enjoying everything that life had to offer. The couple then flew to Las Vegas, finding their brand new home on the Strip where they then settled in. Things seemed pretty normal on the first few days until the allure of the great casinos began to beckon.
Every gambler has that one story, the time they beat the odds and hit it big. Now it's your turn to create your story and become a main character in our future videos. Welcome to Crypto Rush, where luck meets opportunity in the world of crypto gambling. Deposit crypto, play your favorite games, and cash out in seconds. Crypto Rush brings the joy and excitement of a casino to your fingertips. Click the first link in the description and start your winning streak today. Crypto Rush, where legends are made.
The first jackpot. Elmer had never been to a casino before and had always been curious about visiting. One day, he told his wife that he wanted to have a quick tour of the casino and perhaps even play a few games just for the experience. His wife had her reservations about the entire idea, but she also knew that when Elmer set his mind on something, he would find a way to see it through. She wanted to be sure that he was not going to turn into a full-time gambler, wasting all of their hard-earned money and retirement on foolish endeavors. She agreed to allow him to have his fun, as that was the point of coming to Vegas in the first place. It wouldn't make much sense if they didn't at least get their feet wet in the lifestyle and craziness of Sin City, and it wouldn't take long for Elmer to make his way to the Mirage Casino, where he took his time to take in all of the luxury and wonders of the environment. He found gamblers playing various games from roulette to poker to baccarat, and knew that card games were going to be out of the question because you needed to be skilled to play them. He had to stick to games that did not require much skill and were as low stakes as possible, and that's when he found himself at the slot machine. He took his time to watch others play and fully understand how it worked. Over and over, he would watch people place their money, play the slots for a few minutes, and then walk away disappointed. He also noticed the excitement and adrenaline rush when people won a small amount, which had encouraged them to keep on playing until they then lost everything. It was a pattern that seemed to be pretty common when it came to playing the slots, and Elmer would not be deterred at all. He had made up his mind he was going to have fun and get the full experience of playing the game. He then took out a small budget of $100, telling himself that he wasn't going to exceed the budget no matter how close his chances were. And so he began with the Megabuck slot machine. It only required $1 to play, with a jackpot that required a $3 stake to hit the top prize. As Elmer played, he laughed at his own failures and continued on, knowing that the chances of hitting the Megabucks jackpot were less than 1 in 10 million. And so he wasn't bothered by anything until he made one more play and the images all lined up. That's when the alarm went off and it became clear that he had done it. Elmer had froze on the spot, thinking the machine had to be malfunctioning. He just couldn't believe what he was seeing. He had just won $4.6 million. It was an amount of money that he had never dreamed of in his youth, and yet there he was at the age of 76, winning this life-changing money. He would be overwhelmed with becoming a millionaire. His wife was ecstatic with joy and completely speechless, and they wondered what they would do with such a crazy amount of money. They began by giving a significant amount to charity and fulfilling the wishes of many poor people who were struggling to survive in homeless shelters. Elmer and his wife also gave to family and friends, helping to set up businesses, paying for cars, offsetting mortgages, and other expenses. The couple then traveled to various countries and locations, living a fulfilling life while enjoying all of the luxuries that they had never had the opportunity to partake in when they were younger. People said that winning a jackpot would change a person, and they became a version of themselves they never thought they would become. Some gamblers will often get into drugs, divorce their spouse, and find themselves in debt even after winning such an astonishing amount, but things were rather different for Elmer and his wife. They remained humble and generous and did not allow the money to get to them. After a few months of living the dream, they were back to their normal lives, facing reality as it was. They stuck to their normal, uneventful lives, but that would not be for long. Lightning strikes a second time. Certain things in life may happen once if you're really lucky, but the probability of them happening twice is almost impossible. This would be the story of Elmer. He had gotten his first taste of wealth and was hooked. He spent a significant amount of his winnings and was surprised at how fast that all of his money had gone. He then thought to himself, instead of becoming frugal with the rest of the money, why not double down on playing the slots and see if he could get lucky once again? This was often the typical mentality of a gambler, and it never ends well. Some might get lucky and win good money, perhaps even enough to survive or offset a few bills, but never the life-changing amount the first time. Sherwin was now 90 years old and knew that he didn't have a lot of time left. He had often said that he never knew if he would even live to the age of 90 and was sure that winning an absurd amount of money only adds on to your life. He was able to go for regular checkups, affording good medical care for himself and his family, and on his 91st birthday, he was asked what he wanted most in life. After thinking about it for quite a while, he had achieved pretty much everything that he had wanted, owning a beautiful home on the Las Vegas Strip, vehicles, and more, and he had helped everyone around him to achieve something. So it felt like he had done it all. He said that he wanted to hit the mega-buck jackpot again. This, of course, was followed with laughter, not only by him, but by everyone who had heard it. It sounded a little absurd that the wish of a 91-year-old man was to win the jackpot. But never stopped dreaming, because he truly believed that he could do it, and after making that wish, it lit a fire under him to keep on trying. He began gambling once more, spending more time at the casinos. Sometimes he lied to his wife about where he was going in order to avoid getting into trouble. Elmer became obsessed, and it was affecting not only his focus but also his finances. He was always away for long hours at a time, which was suspicious for a retired person, and he knew that he needed a good story. On the 15th of September 2005, he told his wife he was going to meet up with an old friend, and they were going to catch up on the good old days, so he might be spending a couple of days away. That's when he made his way to the Canary Casino in Las Vegas, where he played at the slot machines the entire day, losing thousands of dollars, and at the end of the day retired to his room disappointed. The very next day, he resolved he was going to give it another try, but if things didn't change by the end of that day, he would have to take a break from gambling. This would be easier said than done though, as the sweet adrenaline of the game was gratuitous and usually kept him coming back for more. But what happened on that day went down in history as one of the luckiest things that ever happened to anyone. Elmer was on autopilot, swinging the slot shaft ever so often, and then it happened. A set of identical images, which would be a very familiar sight. It was something that he had witnessed just 16 years prior. The alarm triggered and a horde of felicitations came from every angle of the casino. Sherwin had done it, but this time it was way bigger. A jaw-dropping $21.1 million mega-buck jackpot. He went down in history as the first person to win the highly elusive prize twice, and the odds of this even happening were 1 in trillions. He was a unicorn, and everyone who knew him simply lost their minds when they heard the news. Sherwin could no longer escape the media this time. He became the most envied man of the year, going on television shows, doing interviews, and appearing in magazines. He was the man who had beat the casino twice, winning the first jackpot at age 76, and now the second one 16 years later at the age of 92. Life after the second win. As you would expect, he donated a massive amount of money to charitable causes, which included contributions to the victims of Hurricane Katrina that had wreaked havoc on parts of the Gulf Coast. He shared his fortune with friends and family and was known to be quite generous even to strangers. In one interview, he expressed his happiness at winning the jackpot for the second time, revealing that he had actually put in a lot of hours to try and achieve that victory. So it was not something that just happened in one trial as many would assume. He was asked about his plans and what they were and replied ever so comically, "My next move is to try for a third jackpot." It was even more shocking than winning the second one, and the statement sent the media into a frenzy. Sadly though, he did not have long enough to accomplish this goal, as he passed away the following year at the age of 93, leaving behind a long legacy of generosity and optimism. His winning had changed, not only his life, but also the lives of everyone around him and even beyond. Many were able to afford food and a roof over their heads, because an old man was lucky twice. What did you think about the double jackpot winnings of Elmer Sherwin? And do you think that you could do it as well? Be sure to let me know all about it in the comments down below. Subscribe to the channel so that you never miss another great video like this one. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.